The penalty phase for convicted school shooter Nicholas Cruz starts next week. Of course, our court TV cameras will be inside the courtroom, gavel to gavel. Cruz pled guilty last October to 17 counts of first-degree murder after opening fire at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School back on Valentine's Day in 2018. Our own court TV Julia Janae has more on what's to come.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day.
In a stunning turn of events, Nicholas Cruz admitted his guilt in the February 2018 mass shooting at this Parkland, Florida high school.
To count one of the indictment, murder in the first degree, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
Even with his guilty plea to 34 counts of murder and attempted murder in October, the case is far from over.
And do you understand that the state will still have the opportunity to present testimony and evidence against you at what's called phase 2 or the penalty phase of the trial?
Yes, I do understand.
Now a jury will decide if Cruz should be put to death for killing 14 students and 3 staff members at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. 12 Broward County residents will be asked to weigh aggravating factors or reasons why Cruz should be executed against mitigating factors, reasons why his life should be spared. One of those aggravators is his own guilty plea to attacking a jail guard in 2018. Another, his admission to the shooting massacre.
I need to advise you that the state is going to be using this conviction in this case as evidence of an aggravating factor for purposes of arguing in favor of the death penalty. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
It took nearly 3 months to find a jury for this penalty phase that's expected to last 4 months.
Do you believe you have a scheduling hardship if you were selected to serve on the jury in this case?
Seating 12 jurors and 10 alternates was a challenge in a community still haunted by the shooting. Here's what one prospective juror had to say.
I live in Parkland.
Okay.
My daughter attends Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
Okay.
And I do know someone in my neighborhood who was killed.
Okay. So you can't sit and listen to this and be fair and impartial, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, I understand.
Prosecutors say there are 7 aggravating factors in this case that merit the death penalty. Among them, that this crime was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. 2 other factors pertain just to victims Christopher Hickson, Aaron Weiss, and Scott Beagle, Stoneman Douglas employees, who prosecutors say were killed while doing their job as public officials. A battle of experts is expected over Cruz's mental health, a key mitigating factor in the defense case. The jury is also expected to visit the building where Cruz rampaged through the hallways after warning a student that things were about to get bad. The building has been closed off as a crime scene ever since, a stark reminder of a grim day that the community is preparing to relive through the penalty phase.
There's no way to really prepare for a trial of this magnitude. We do know that he is guilty. He admitted that. But what we're going to hear presented to our families in detail about what happened on that terrible February day 4 years ago will be very difficult for us, I'm sure.
Still with us to talk about this in preparation for next week, Kirk Nurmi, Jennifer Wells. I mean, this guilty plea, I think, surprised the nation, the world, quite frankly. Now that he's pled guilty, talk to me about these aggravating factors that Julia mentioned, the mitigating factors. And Jennifer, do you think that this is a case in which evidence can be presented to spare the life of Nicholas Cruz, knowing he's pled guilty to shooting and killing so many people?
Well, the defense is certainly going to try to do that. And obviously they're going to talk about his upbringing. It's under my understanding that they're going to talk about the difficulties he faced as a child. They're obviously going to talk about his mental health and whether or not, I'm certain that he's been evaluated, if not once, more than once, in preparation for this. And there's going to be, as the previous bit talked about, there's going to absolutely be a battle of the experts about whether or not, for the jury's purposes, he could conform his actions with the law at the time that this event happened. But these cases are tough. I mean, it only takes one juror to say, no, I can't do this. I can't do this to this kid, this child. And I'm sure that they will talk about that too, that he was a child when he, not under the law, but for the purposes of age, he's someone we would consider a child. And the defense is going to talk about that as well. No one envies these jurors having to sit through 4 months of this.
And Jennifer, I agree with you completely, and that is, it's one thing to vet jurors to find out, are they able to impose the death penalty if it's appropriate? It's another to see where they are after they've heard real evidence about the person in terms of the mitigating factors and whether or not aggravating factors exist. Kirk, what do you think of this life versus death and what might happen in this case for Nikolas Cruz?
Well, remember, Ashley, it's not just a matter of being able to impose the death penalty, it's also being able to impose life. And we heard about the long jury selection process of 3 months. And that's not just a scheduling issue. That's to be constitutionally qualified to have a valid sentence of death. The jurors selected have to be open to imposing both penalties, not just death sentence, but a life sentence as well. And they also attest to giving meaningful consideration to the mitigating factors as well as the aggravating factors. So this is going to be a process where they draw out all the evidence. The state is going to want to make it as horrific as possible, and it is horrific, right? But the defense is going to present these mitigation factors, reasons that the life should be spared, not related to the crime itself, but related to the person. And the jury has to consider everything from conception up until the day he's sentenced when rendering that ultimate verdict. And we're going to see the defense through experts and through different people put forth those factors in an effort not to mitigate what he did, but to say that life is the appropriate sentence, to grant mercy and leniency based on the factors that they present.
And Kirk, I really like that you pointed out it's not mitigating factors regarding the crime, but rather regarding that person, Nikolas Cruz. Let's listen together. There's a little bit more I wanted to listen to of one of the fathers and what he had to say.
We know that at the end of this trial, we're going to be in the same spot we are today, where this convicted murderer will still be in jail and our beautiful daughter will still be gone. And that's very painful. But we're hopeful that there's a fair trial that comes to a conclusion.
In about 10 seconds for each of you, Jennifer, what would you say to surviving family on how to ever move on if possible?
I always say you're not going to get your closure through the criminal justice system. You will find it elsewhere. The criminal justice system is not built for closure.
All right, Kirk, 5 seconds. What would you say?
No, I would agree. I mean, either verdict is not going to change anything. It's not going to give the closure that you seek.
All right.
You have to get that outside the justice system.
And we're going to be watching next week, covering it here on Court TV. Thank you, Kirk Nurmi, Jennifer Wells, for being with us today as guest legal analyst. Also, always want to thank all of you at home for joining us.